Thank you so much for joining us. It's a big honor to have you here. And you have accomplished and started so many companies over time. I'm curious about your journey as an entrepreneur. And again, it's such an honor. Would you like some coffee?
Thank you so much. I'll have some coffee. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I'd like to know a little bit about your journey as an entrepreneur. From your youngest age, where did you get ideas? How did you start companies? How it works for you?
See, I think one needs to be blessed to be born with an entrepreneurial mindset. And I think I've been blessed with one, and therefore I could spot opportunities and try to build small businesses with reasonable success. In my case, I was born in Kerala, but then brought to Chennai by my dad, who was in the railways, and so I did my schooling in Chennai. I went to college in Chennai. So during my schooling days, when I was studying at MCC, Chetpet, I spotted an opportunity where we could trade in once-played tennis balls. Regular tennis balls are not good for cricket, and then so you had to have a tennis ball which kind of rises at a particular height, or you buy these tennis balls and bring it to a cricket playing level. So one of the ways is to go to a tennis club and then buy these once-played tennis balls. So you had to go to different clubs and talk to the markers, the club members, and be the key guy to buy all their once-played tennis balls. And these tennis balls were used to to play cricket. So I was selling tennis balls to various cricket teams in across Chennai, right? And so this business started when I was 13, and it continued till the time I was probably 20. By the end of college, I still continue the business. Yeah, it's a profitable business, and you buy for something for 1 rupee and sell it for 4 rupees, and a good margin business. Okay, so that's how.
Right, that's good margin.
Yeah.
And you started that at the age of 13.
13, yeah. So we didn't come from a family of family background of business. We never learned business, and nobody teach you. But I think it's just that instinct which gave you an opportunity to spot the business and run it. So I was one of the largest once-played tennis ball suppliers in Chennai at that point. And there's another opportunity that I found was when I was at class 10th holiday. We found buying magazines was always a problem. You belong to railway families those days. Lower middle class people. So you could maximum buy one magazine or two in a family. So what do you do if you want to read many magazines? So you had to go to a club or an institute which is a little far away. So an idea came up that you go to different households and tell them, hey, if you give me money for 2 magazines, let's say a magazine costs 10 rupees, and then you get money for 2 magazines, 20 rupees, then you could probably supply 10 magazines to people over a month period. Because if you notice, people really don't read a magazine for the whole month or for a whole week. You quickly run through a magazine, you finish it in a week, right? At maximum 2 or 3 days you finish it, right? So what we found is, hey, for 2 magazines money, I can give you 10 magazines. So every 3 days you rotate a magazine in every house. Since we from a railway colony, I could do this business, and we had hundreds of customers. And every evening after playing, you quickly go and rotate these magazines, right? And since I was running a cricket team, some of these supporters, who really are, not always playing but supporting you from outside, you engage 1 or 2 people, and then they finish the rotation of magazines. So it is 50% margin business, and I ran that business from class 10 holidays till end of college. And after that, when I got my first job in Calcutta with HCL, and then I was moving, I sold that business to my brother and this friend, who paid me for 2 months revenues for it.
So that led to you starting two incredible businesses.
Yes, so we started Select Technologies in the year 99, and which was focused on distribution in the information security space and the networking space, right? We also built our own brand called ACE around the same time, which was focused on networking products like modems, internal and external, ISDN adapters, switches, etc. So we built a brand, and the main company was Select Technologies, was distributing the same plus other products in the information security space. This company was sold to Wipro e-peripherals, later called as web peripherals, in the year 2003, and I was with them till 2005.
Wow. So what made you decide to leave this company and start another company, the Inflow Technologies company?
Which is partially a mistake, So early days you're not really knowledgeable. You're still learning, and you had formed a board and you had your team members, and then you kind of believe that when an opportunity came from web peripherals, you kind of believed, hey, this is a good chance for us to take some money off the table and then be part of a larger organization, and then maybe build a networking business separately and a distribution business separately. But once you sell the company, then I think you have a new set of board members, new ideas, and then we couldn't run distribution separately and networking separately, and then they wanted to bring it all together. So that's when I kind of realized my interest doesn't lie here, and my interest lies in a different space, and I need to move on.
Okay. And was it difficult to leave the company for you and move on?
It was very difficult. It took me about, I think, 2 or 3 quarters of intense thinking, and and finally I had to make up my mind. But once I made up my mind, then there's no going back.
Wow, that's great. So what is the moment that you are the most proudest of since you started this company?
Yeah, we started the company in 2005, and we started growing from year one. And after 2 years, I met a gentleman who was running the 5th largest distribution house in the world, and he was very keen to take an equity in Inflow, and he wanted to come into India. They didn't have India operations at the time, and he approached me and said, "Hey, Byju, I want to partner with you. It'll be good for your team members, good for you, and we can grow this business." So in 2008, we entered into a joint venture with this company, and then took some money off the table, good for all team members, and then we got money into the company, and then we started growing again. But so we were very proud at that point, saying, "Hey, at least we did a quick turnaround, and we now going to a next phase of growth." But we never, but being a multinational company and they wanted to come into India, they're very keen to buy the rest of the equity, and they tried for 5 years. None of the team members, including me, sold any equity, and finally they said, "Hey, why don't you buy us back?" So in 2013, we decided to buy back all our equity. That was a proud moment, right? So we became 100% owners again, and we continued to grow. And last year, I think we hit our, I would say 2018, from March, we hit about 1,500 crores, which was the plan. And this year in March, we closed at 1,920 crores. So we are one of the fastest growing distribution houses in India at the moment for the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Wow. In such a short period of time, such an incredible turnover. Did you experience failures during those few years, or any mistakes that stand out?
Yes, yes. I think the first big failure was in Select Technologies, which was we were modems. ACE modems was the biggest product for us at that time, right? And in the year 2001. there was so we had outsourced manufacturing to a company in Taiwan, though the design was ours and the software was ours, but the manufacturing assembly was from Taiwan, and they were also involved in sourcing. One of these Motorola chips, which is supposed to give a 5-volt output, started giving a 1-volt output as the usage increased. So there was a time in 2001 I was suddenly stuck for about 2 crores because 3,000 modems in the field, 3,000 modems in our warehouse, 3,000 in the ship, all had defects. So we had 9,000 modems with defects. Small young company trying to gain market share.
9,000, that's a large number.
That's a large number, yeah. And we had this 5-year warranty period. But it was a colossal problem at that time, and the external investors got also scared. And but then I think we stuck to it. I had to motivate the team, tell them, listen, don't worry about failure, let's look for an opportunity. We went back to Taiwan, talked to the Motorola folks. I think the OEMs were very friendly, the manufacturers helped us out, Motorola helped us out. We sent engineers into India, we took up a new space and a repair center, took back all the modems that came along and repaired them, and we got out of the problem in about 3 months' time. But it was very difficult at that time. And yes, so I think that's part of the entrepreneurial. I think the instinct comes out, and that's when you motivate everybody and say, listen, there's nothing wrong that has gone. This is part of life. We can always get out of it. One issue does not mean that we will have to go down. We'll have to fight it and come winners again, right? So it also helped us at that time to find another opportunity in information security, because our networking business was slightly down. So we looked at the information security and became one of the early distribution houses in information security. So that was the opportunity that we got because of that failure.
Amazing how you've moved and journeyed through your difficulties and your challenges. Do you have any advice for entrepreneurs who want to start in the IT field, or somebody who wants to start in software, or any ideas as to what they should do?
See, okay. So I think first of all, I think they should be conscious that are they blessed with the mindset of an entrepreneur. I think you need to be slightly lucky and should be blessed, and then that's the first step, right? I don't think anybody would become a leader by reading or getting trained in leadership, right? There has to be some amount of blessing from God, yeah. And number two thing is, or you have to find professionals who could run your business, right? And number two is your business plan and your idea needs to be vetted, right? Be very sure about it. Check with other veterans, and be sure about it. And once you're sold on that, then I'm sure you will be able to raise equity funding and slowly build a success model. I think businesses need to be finally profitable. Of course, there are these new models where they tend to become profitable over a period of time, which is fine. That's a different model. But generally, in my kind of businesses which I ran, there has to be a business model which has to quickly get cash flow positive and has to be profitable for us to keep scaling it up. So as long as they're sold on that, I'm sure they'll be able to get funding.
Right. That makes sense. You want to make sure that the return is there. You want to make sure that there's cash flow, and you want that information to be out there for entrepreneurs. So if you wrote a book about your life experience, what title would you give it?
And maybe an entrepreneur's, a peek into an entrepreneur's journey.
Wow, I like it. Thank you so much again. And again, just an honor to have you here today, sir.
Thank you, Vaibhav. Thank you for having me here.